Boffin's Crock, the knockoff stew.
Ah, smells like a warm hug on a chilly afternoon. You know, just like my mum used to make.
Aye, but this doesn't look like your mum's stew. The mushrooms look a little, well, suspicious, like.
It's the Boffin's Crock, the famous stew from, well, somewhere. It's probably fine.
I've heard tales of the Boffin's Crock. Supposedly, it's so good, it'll make your hair stand up and your feet dance. This is making my feet worried that they might not even make it to the dance floor.
No, that's odd. I swear I can see cabbage. Since when does Boffin put cabbage in her stew?
Aye, right, and look at these mushrooms. They're all flat, like. What, these ones aren't even trying to look like your mushrooms. They're like wee little soggy pancakes.
Well, it's not terrible. It's like a mystery stew. You don't know whether you're eating a mushroom or a confused piece of bark.
Wait. Did anyone else notice that the broth is also too thin? Boffin's Crock is supposed to be hearty, like a hug from your favorite auntie. This feels like a hug from someone who's unsure if they want to commit to the hug.
Oh, no. This garlic?
Oh, garlic! Oh, there's any a bit of garlic in Boffin's Crock. But Boffin would never.
Oh, yes. Boffin's Crock is supposed to be subtle, like a quiet afternoon breeze. This tastes like the time I accidentally ate a whole garlic bulb, thinking it was an onion.
Is it me or is this sweet? I don't remember the stew tasting like someone sneaked in a spoonful of sugar.
Aha! That's it. This is the knockoff. I knew it. It's got that cheap sweetness to it. Like someone tried to copy the recipe from memory but forgot half of it and just threw in whatever they had in the pantry.
Oh, that's the problem then. I didn't even put any peppercorns in it. Well, Boffin's Crock, it's legendary for its peppercorns, but there's no bit in here. That's just a limp excuse for seasoning.
Oh yes, let's throw in some extra mushrooms and call it Boffin's Crock. Who do they think we are? Simpletons?
Is it me or is the texture all wrong? This should have that creamy, almost velvety feel to it. This is like someone boiled a pillowcase and tried to pass it off as a stew.
This is no Boffin's Crock. This is Boffin's Crock Pot Disaster.
Oh, well, you look at the state of it. There's no bit of herbs, a chunk of bacon, but no crispy onions on top. Boffin's Crock, it sings. It's a beautiful melody. This one, it just kind of mumbles.
I can feel my taste buds are being punished by the spoonful.
Alright, someone's gonna pay for this. Whoever's selling this knockoff Boffin's Crock needs to be stewed in a much more flavorful way.
You know, I heard Boffin's original recipe calls for a pinch of mystery spice. Maybe that's the secret ingredient we're missing.
A mystery spice, eh? Well, if it's anything like this, it'll probably just some old crushed up breadcrumbs from some poor chum who tried to bake too hard.
Oh, maybe the mystery is how they managed to get it wrong so many times.
Alright everyone, let's disagree. This is no Boffin's Crock. Like he said, this is the crock pot of shame.
Well, I'm not having any more. I'll just make my own stew, thank you very much. With peppercorns, real mushrooms, and no garlic.
And none of this sugar nonsense. I'll go raid me mum's herb cabinet for the real primo stuff.
And I'll make sure it has 0 cabbage. It's not a salad, it's a stew, for goodness sake.
Right. Well, I suppose that's the end of the great Boffin's Croc experiment. Let's never speak of this again, yes?
Deal.
Deal. Welcome, everyone, to Blunders and Flagons, the podcast where who knows what meets who knows who in the world of Middle-earth. Hello, my name is Jeremiah, aka Barty, and I am so excited to have you guys join us on what could potentially be the penultimate episode to this.
Penultimate is next to ultimate.
Right, so
It's
could be.
ultimate.
It could very
No,
well be.
it's ultimate.
It-
It's
well,
the ultimate. We're
well.
done. I'm not showing up after this.
To what could be the fast approaching final furious insert finale. Thank you. I was gonna say insert word here, but that's not what I want to say here.
Whoa! I'm gonna have to edit that out. Jeez.
Finale.
Have you learned nothing?
Never. I don't learn. I just swallow.
Censor that. Censor that, man.
That's from Ratatouille. That's what ego says if I don't like it. Anyways, yes, welcome to Blunders and Flagons. I play Barty, the character who, much like the person playing him, ends up making mistakes accidentally, and everyone judges him for it intentionally. And my secret fact of the day is that while you may not know this because you can't tell because the quality in this recording is so much better, this is the first time I have recorded from not my home. I'm in one of my other brother-in-law's rooms, and he was generous enough to let me use his setup. So
Huzzah.
maybe if you subscribe to the Patreon, which we definitely have by now,
For sure.
you'll get to watch and see how it looks so different and see where
of
I
these
work.
days.
Sponsor, no. Anyways, yes. With that,
Except your background is blurred, so they can't really see anything.
with that being said, I would like to force feed you one of the most favoritist characters by about, there's 4 of us, by about 25% of the population of listeners. Banjo. Excuse me.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time it is for y'all. My name is Drew, and I play the tiny, eensy-weensy, hobbit-sized hobbit, Banjo Groman. And I'm super excited to be here for this final episode of Blunders and Flagons Shire Edition. And definitely did not premeditate a fun fact. My brain is very much mush today. I did like some process improvement class and sat through a bunch of PowerPoints and gross. So, but that's real life and that sucks. I'm super excited to dive back into the world of Middle-earth, which honestly, as a fun fact, this whole podcast has been fun for myself. I'm sure Banjo's had a good learning experience to this whole thing. Will probably turn out to be a better hobbit than if he hadn't delved deep into his demented self and seen the devil. And the devil was staring right back at him, and and he was like, yeah, that was spooky ooky. So he's definitely going to turn his life around. Probably won't kill anything else ever again. But yeah, as going into this final episode, definitely super stoked. But with that, I'll turn it over to the last player for these introductions, which is my brother, Daniel.
Hello there. I am Daniel, and I play Beri Bramblefoot, and he has sort of taken a bit of a fatherly role over the course of the podcast, although for no other merit than his age, I think. He's not exactly super wise, and he doesn't exactly steer the party in the right direction all the time. But hey, that's what being a leader is all about, is not always making the right decitions.
But standing by them anyways.
But yeah, you're still the leader anyways, so you gotta...
forcing everyone to do it.
You gotta make it work. Fun fact-wise, Beri's tired, and he is
excited to meet Bilbo, and also a little nervous because Bilbo has a bit of a reputation, and he doesn't really. He's worried about how meeting Bilbo will affect his reputation going forward, and he's definitely not going to tell his wife about it. At least not right away. Gasp!
That's okay. Banjo's not going to tell his wife about anything either.
It's okay. Barty doesn't have a wife.
Banjo doesn't have a wife.
Did you say Barty doesn't have a wife?
Yeah. I was just part of the group.
Okay. I'm going to pass it over now to the one and the only Lower Master of the campaign.
LeBron.
My brother.
Oh.
Wow, guys, clap harder.
Clap, clap, clap.
Thank you, one and all, for joining us here on this final closing episode.
Hopefully.
No, hopefully. This is it. I told you, I'm done.
Attitude, Jerry.
If like segues began, I'm like, and an asteroid comes down and destroys the Shire. This is an alternate timeline. There's a rift in the timeline, and we can do that just like Marvel did.
Well, Ant-Man shows up and says, "We need you to save Middle Earth."
Yeah. No, thank you for sticking with us for 15-ish hours plus, and a lot of really terrible skits, like one we just kind of listened to here in preparation.
Wonderful.
We really appreciate everybody tuning in, and in case this is the first one you're listening to, hi, I'm David. I'm the lore master, and this is all my fault. So thank you for being along with us for the ride, and hopefully we'll get to do something sort of like this at some point in the future. We might have more to say on that in a future release, but this is the end for the Hobbit adventure, at least for the time being. Who knows if we'll ever pick it up again. I love it. I'd love to pick it up again, maybe when my life is not so crazy. Ha 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 ha. But it has been a lot of fun.
Maybe your family could join us on an adventure sometime.
With that being said, let's dive into our final meeting of the minds here in the Shire, as we zoom back in, as we have in episodes past. You were conversing with Gerda and not Hamfast, but
Iron Hand. Iron Fist.
Rumbled
Humble.
Boffin. Gerda and Rumbled Boffin, along with the patron of the Green Dragon Inn, who are all gathered together in the kitchen. And you were just presenting this idea or theory, and I believe it was Beri who was the final icing on the cake. Beri, can you sum up what you brought to the table and presented to this group as your final toss here?
Oh yeah, for sure, because that was totally not a week ago, and
I'm definitely not flipping it to you because I don't remember
Okay,
where
well,
I
I
am.
can-
Still
I can
hadn't talked to him
100%.
yet, so I'd forgotten completely.
I can 100% make up what I think happened, and then if you're listening, you can go back retroactively and see how far off the actual truth this is going to be.
And, let's do a bet. Go ahead and head into the comments right now and let us know what
5 million.
percentage.
$500 million to the first
No,
one.
no.
who gets it.
What percentage do you think we have this off?
As someone who listens to other podcasts back to back and gets frustrated about how they're how did you forget or change your accent from one to another? I totally get it now
I changed
because
my accent within
I
one
have
skit.
no idea what I did yesterday, much less last week.
Yup. So the presentation that was given to Gerda, Rumbold, and Dahlia was a very humble and sincere presentation.
That's true.
Basically apologizing profusely for the theft of the mushrooms from the mushroom tree. And
We don't know where it is. Yeah.
offering the money to repay for the theft, and also the incurring shortage of mushrooms that has apparently caused a bit of an issue at the Green Dragon, as they've been unable to serve it for some time. And also segueing into a business proposition to expand the sale of Boffin's Crock to the Bird and Babe, with potential to expand even further if that is something that's desired. And also, I think we mentioned, I'm not 100% sure on this, but I think we did mention that we were securing a secondary provider of mushrooms. I'm not.
Yes,
100%.
we did mention Farmer Larva.
Farmer Larva, yes, indeed. Farmer
Because
Larva.
he's not fully grown into a maggot yet.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So that's basically it.
Okay. And you had presented that, and with your roll, unfortunately, you rolled a 3.
It was so good. It was
Now-
like a 20
That's right.
something. I don't know.
I think
What
he rolled a
what I will
75.
do,
23, yeah.
I think it's
that's
lost
what
to
it was.
time. We should probably do it all over again.
we have not implemented one of the mechanics in the Lord of the Rings TTRPG, which I am happy to unveil today.
Ooh.
And that is fellowship points.
We get to hear about it on the final episode.
That's right.
I'm gonna look up what
And they work in different ways, but what I'm going to allow you to do is, if you all are collectively seeking to work this together, I will allow you to spend a fellowship point and re-roll that final check.
Yeah, that's probably a good
No,
idea.
we'll keep the 3.
Honestly,
That's a
we
wise
can't get
move.
much worse. Do we know how many
You have a
times-
very limited amount of points, and I think, in fact, you only have 2.
Well,
So
given
this
that
would be
is
one of
the-
those crucial positions where
Yeah.
you'd
do
pretty
that.
much need to.
Do that, and then what we can do is, because hobbits are lucky, we can use one reroll now too, right? That's a mechanic that is in 5e.
So- No. Ultimately, the way this works itself out is because of your teamwork, because you've been working together for something about a week and a half trying to get to this goal. You've learned something about each other, and you're able to bolster each other up in times of difficulty. And so perhaps
should roll.
either Banjo or Barty, you see Beri kind of stumbling, and you see Gerda's face kind of twisting and turning a little sour. And so either you can buck him up with some encouraging words or roll for him and back him up to present that. So how would you like to go about this?
Banjo, would you like me to jump in real quick? Barty just leans over and whispers, "Do you think you need some help?"
He don't look so like he's doing so
He's
good.
floundering. He looks like me fishing earlier.
Yeah, dude, you should go help that guy out.
Right. Listen here, y'all. You Dahlia. Dahlia, Rumble,
Bless you.
Gerda, Gesundheit, thank you. Right. You remember those knives you put down, Rumble, like 10 seconds ago? Not a week ago? Right. Pick those back up for me, would ya? So he picks them up and holds them menacingly next to his face.
There'll be a sound effect in post.
Just like the duck. Right, how do you feel holding those knives, sir? In more than one word.
Sharp and cutty.
You feel sharp and cutty. Right.
You
Now,
look sharp and pretty,
Miss
if I might
Boffin,
add.
you are still holding the bag
He's
of
waving
coins,
him
right?
around.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I apologize for Banjo's antics here. You're still holding the bag of coin, right? I've forgotten.
It's right here.
How did those feel?
There'll
in
be
your
a sound effect in post.
hand? How did
You're
those feel
giving
in
him
your
a lot
hand?
of sound effects to do.
Should definitely not put sound effect in post.
Jingle, jingle, jingle. You could just
How-
transpose
how-
both of my sound effect noises. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
How do those feel in your hand? How does that feel, holding it?
It feels weighty.
Weighty and?
What the heck are you getting at, bud?
Jingly.
Jingly. Weighty and jingly, sharp and
Cutty.
cutty. You guys just have some great adjectives. Not what I was shooting for, but I can make this work. So, Betwixt the two things...
Perhaps it would help if you said what you were meaning to say.
Right, I'm getting there. Listen, betwixt the two of what you guys are holding, which would you rather have in your hands right now? Sharp and cutty?
Money.
Weighty and... I forget what you said already.
Jingly.
Jingly.
Okay. Yeah, we get it. Money's good. Money good.
She looks down at the gold and looks over at her husband. What's your point?
The point is, if you use sharp and cutty on those trying to give you weighty and jingly, you lose all your weighty and jingly.
I know that this is from Bolger. He sent a letter, and it took far longer for the money to get here than for the letter to get here.
Right, because we were the ones carrying it. We're not going to be in charge of the delivery. It's going to be something that we can work out later. But here's the deal. You need money to survive. This establishment needs money to survive. In fact, I'd wager to say your establishment needs money to thrive. Because you pay, well, they pay you, I suppose, for the mushrooms, do they not?
That's right.
So, if they're not paying you for mushrooms, you're not getting any jingly, and if you're not giving them mushrooms, he nods to the shop owner, then how are they going to pay you for these mushrooms if they're not getting anybody in the doors? Now, I will admit we made a grave error and we have apologized profusely. I do believe we've done our best to make amends. But with our actions, they have caused some consequences. I will admit it. You have had an unfortunate lapse in supply, and you have seen a problem with that. This is how important Boffin's Crock is to your establishment, right? If you guys have that in more than just one place, just imagine the profit you guys could move. And not only that, you guys would be legends in the Shire. Imagine being able to provide more than the largest number any of us hobbits can think of to other
24.
hobbits. At least
7.
7.
1.5.
Just picture what you guys will go down in history as your wee ones and their wee ones will tell their wee ones. Boffin's Crock didn't used to be available everywhere. It used to be only at the Green Dragon. But due to 2 shrewd business hobbits, it is now available Shire-wide.
Go ahead and make your persuasion roll. Or deception roll. It's up to you.
Persuasion.
Banjo's on the edge of his
I
proverbial
don't know if
seat.
I have any bonuses on this. I'll just roll it and I'll tell you if I have anything. Ha!
For persuasion, yes, you have
+2.
you have a +1,
5.
So it's 13.
and you do have proficiency in it, so that's an extra 2, so 3.
So I have not been
15.
doing right. So 15. Does it pass the DC?
We'll see.
Too bad the DC was 1 billion.
So Gerda makes eye contact with Rumbold and also looks over to
Dahlia.
Dahlia.
She looks over to Dahlia as well. I'm skeptical because it's you lot who have arranged it, but I can't deny that I would love to hear the name Boffin's Crock resounding through all 4 farthings of the Shire.
Leave it to cracked old Barty to be the wise one here. He doesn't say that, but in his head he does.
But as far as I'm concerned, you lot are on probation.
I'll take that.
If anything
No,
else
don't
goes
put it on
awry,
probation.
Do me a favor, don't listen to the skit.
It's horrible.
if anything else goes awry, I'll hold you personally responsible.
I'll take it. Me, personally. Don't even hold Beri and Banjo. I will personally take it myself.
Well, that means anything good that happens, you'll also take.
No, that goes to Sheriff Bolger, remember?
Thumbs up.
I think it would behoove you to represent the Green Dragon and assist Mickle Delving with the Yuletide feast. Help with the final preparations, retrieve the Yule log as needed, and set the stage for what is about to take place. We here will, since we have no mushrooms, send no food. So hopefully whatever other provision you have pans out, and you can provide some sort of Buffin's Crock there at Mickle Delving.
Yeah.
And we will attend the day of, but we can't leave our business up until that point.
Naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I believe
And
that's
we will
fair.
invite the well-to-dos on behalf of our establishment for the grand unveiling of the crock. And if all goes according to plan, I will accept both your apology and your hand in business doings to supply us with those mushrooms as we need.
For a second, I thought.
And
she'd
then
say
I
my
can
hand in
turn-
marriage.
No, I'm married already to Rumbold. And she points up
Hello.
to...
You can put the knives down, Mr. Rumbold.
He's still swinging them back and forth.
He's a simple man, he is.
So, you'd better hurry. There's only 2 days left to prepare, and I hear there's much still to be done. Bolger was expecting you to assist him with a few things before you left, so I know that he's behind schedule. He is still in charge of the feast. So I expect you to do for him as best as you can, in spite of the fact that you have earned his ire in many ways.
Aye, but he said he...
Banjo puts his hand
Neither
up.
here nor there. Banjo. Go on, sorry.
What does ire mean?
It's like the Shire, but without the S.
Ire don't know. How are you?
Hey, Siri.
No, but for realsies, as soon as Bango hears that we're gonna go find the Yule log, he gets super excited.
So, you know that traditionally the Yule log is a very large log, which is placed on a fire that runs the length of basically the festival tables, which are on both sides. It's basically a long fire that lights the way. And this single log is what is used to be the main fuel. There's obviously a small coal fire burning already, and then at the start of the festivities, a large log is pushed onto the coals and serves to light the first night of the Yule festival.
I know where we can
So
find
needs
a big old
must
log.
state.
Goes uproots the mushroom tree.
That is not doing any good now.
Work perfectly.
But we gotta get back to Mickle Delving and find a log there, because I sure as heck not toting a big old stinking log from the Green Dragon down to the
Good
bird
thing
in
we
the
got
bite.
an axe to cut it down, and we got
Right.
uh,
I'll finally
plenty of
fulfill what
hobbits
my
to
parents
tote it.
wanted me to be. A success.
Great success.
great success.
So they usher you out of the kitchen and push you on your way. It is
All right, we're going.
it is
What's
now
yours?
approximately midday, and yes, you kind of stumble out.
Wait, let me grab my stuff first. I left my shoes on the banister. Wait.
Now hurry, time's wasting.
grab
There's
the axe?
much to do, much to do.
Can you at least grab me axe, my shoes, and me helmet?
That's outside.
Yeah, we're already
you put it
outside.
outside?
Banjo, didn't you see us push? Didn't you see them push us out?
Well, why don't
I
you
left him
grab
on
it?
the
It's right
doorstep.
there, Barty. I
Okay.
point down to it. It's all missing because someone took it all.
No, okay. We grab our stuff and go.
Rise.
Oh,
Grab our stuff and go.
oh my! Crime is on the rise.
Right,
Don't start mocking Barry now. What has he ever done to you?
Literally everything. I want to get the Yule log for the
Let's go.
Yule festival. Swedish time.
Very hot in here.
Oh, guys, I'm really relieved.
Open
That's
the
one
window,
word Banjo
man.
knows.
Open
Yeah,
the
genuinely.
window.
Isn't there a fan in that room?
There is also a fan in
In
Yes.
the game? Out of game in real life?
Should just be the second switch. Ah,
Gosh, I love my brilliant brothers.
pretty sure that's
Barty's not the brains here. It's all right.
all right, lads. Let's get a move on. We'll see if we can't get back to Mickle Delving a sharpish.
We've got a log to lay, a plant, pick, pull, chop.
Chop down a tree, lad.
We need to take a tree. Oh,
I
back to
wish.
Hobbiton.
I wish Bullen were here.
I wish Bullen were here.
All right, we're off.
He would know
Here we
what
go.
to do.
Very good. So, someone needs to roll for the last day
Yeah,
of
not
journeying back towards Mickle Delving.
Barry, don't touch your dice.
I'm rolling right now. Just kidding.
A 16!
Drew beat you to it.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I finally found it. The elusive shortcut.
The elusive roll more than a 10.
That's 2 in a row.
Wait, guys, look, this sign. Must roll more than a 10 to cross. Hey, look, this is the way!
Oh no, wait! I think this is the. Oh, this side passage here says if roll over 15, you may take secret shortcut,
Secret shortcut.
eliminating 1 day of travel.
If not, go to jail, go directly to jail, do not pass go, do not collect. This isn't Monopoly. What are we doing? What are we doing here?
Sorry.
I don't know, this mustached hobbit, you just skipped, and jumped. He had a monocle and a top hat.
Oi, is that a ship stomping along? There's a wee boat moving by itself.
Oh no!
I'm going crazy!
Quick,
I
Lore
see-
Master, jump in and save us from the Monopoly
I see
Man.
green houses falling from the sky.
Here comes a red one, no!
Oh no!
What's Pork Place? What's a boardwalk?
Oh no!
Banjo jerks himself awake. He had a horrible dream about paying rent and going to jail.
I can't
Basically
afford-
being an adult in the 21st century.
I can't afford Park Place.
Give me the free parking!
Guys, we don't need a second skit. That's it right there.
There you go. The hobbits play Monopoly. So, as you proceed down the walk, you are enjoying the time, although it is gotten chilly, and you even see what you feel like are storm clouds passing overhead. It threatens to dump sleet or snow, and indeed you're wrapping your cloak around yourself a bit tighter as there's a chill that comes from the north, a chill wind. However, you make good time nonetheless. The clouds that were threatening soon pass, and the sun comes out and actually warms your bones a bit in the afternoon. And so you are able to arrive before nightfall that day as you set out somewhat in the morning, I think, from your previous destination. What's up?
Yes.
So, that's all right. So you are able to find Jarrett at the Bird and Babe
What's he doing?
and speak with him about accommodations if you would so like, unless you need to stop by and talk to Bolger first. What would you
need
prefer?
to find a log, but we should talk to Bulger first to make sure the log is to his specs, no?
Well, we should talk to Bulger to tell him that everything's good, and we've got a guy
And we need to talk
who's
to
got
Jarrett
the
to let him know
shrooms
everything's
for
good
the
and
thing,
use
and
yeah.
Jarek knows what to do with the mushrooms once we get them to him. Him and Petunia know what's up. So, we gotta loop in the sheriff. Once the sheriff is looped in, we still gotta wait anyways for the whatchamacallit, so we would kind of leave that issue to time of the Yule Feast stew and go with the Yule log, because that's something we could do now, right?
Yes, I love the plan. There's one small thing, and it is indeed a small thing, because there's not enough Boffin's Croc to feed everybody. But we can discuss that as we go.
Yeah, that's why we need the mushrooms from Farmer Maggot.
Yes, right, because they've grown in a day.
Well, yeah, but the feast isn't for... I'm looking at my Hobbit
And he
watch
would
right
remember
now.
how many days is left, right?
I'm thinking with my Hobbit brain.
2 days.
If I remember my Hobbit calendar.
Hey, Siri.
Hey. 2 days?
You know, yes. So it's 2 days for the feast, and you know it's about a 3-day walk from here to get to Buckland, which is where Farmer Maggot is.
Hobbit.
You would be familiar with the option of ponies. Now they're rarely used, and most hobbits don't quite know how to ride. But it is a far faster option, or could be, if you were able to procure one. It could make easily a 3-day journey into one.
If anybody could, it's Banjo.
You guys.
It is possible.
I fearless.
But there's also other options for procuring mushrooms. You could talk to farmers in the area. You could try to glean some for yourself.
We could accidentally fulfill the skit that we just recorded.
You could just make a completely different soup with no mushrooms, garlic instead,
And cabbage.
Oh gosh.
So, but yes, you decide that you're off to speak with Bolger as your first priority. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
All right, so off you go to the sheriff's office. Things around town are slowing down. It was twilight when you entered. It's beginning to grow dark, and there are a few bounders going about lighting these lanterns that are up on posts throughout the Shire, here in Mickledelving, particularly in the residential neighborhoods. Many are finding their way home after a long day's work, and you see many who seem to be kind of stockpiling for the Yuletide feast. Some are preparing. Most everybody you would know. This is kind of a potluck type situation. So there's typically a host, somebody who is arranging the more main dishes of the meal for each day, but others bring pies, different baked goods, different things, whatever they can, whatever their specialty is, and most people in a community like this would have one thing or another that they're very good at and everyone likes to see. So you expect to see those sorts of things, and people are stockpiling, ready for a big day of baking or cooking or butchering animals tomorrow in preparation for the first day of the feast.
Jarek's gonna be swamped.
So you see them all heading home. You walk into the sheriff's office, and you do see that the light is still on, and indeed none other than Bolger himself is seated at the desk, and he is sweating profusely despite the cool weather, and he is kind of huffing and puffing, and he is delegating these things to 2 or 3 bounders that are standing by.
Oh, yes, make sure that you, before it grows too dark, make sure you run up to the party area and arrange the chairs so that we can set them up quickly in the morning. Make sure that that's ready.
And the last of the bounders runs off. I didn't realize his voice was such a strain on my voice. And so they run off and kind of bump into you on their way out, and look back at Bolger briefly, and he waves them off.
Go, you must hurry. What are you 3 doing here? I thought you had wandered off. Perhaps found trouble for yourself?
We found so much trouble.
yeah.
You wouldn't believe it. But trouble comes with good news. Banjo, go ahead.
Yeah, I saw the devil. But that's not the important part, Mr. Banjo. I mean, I'm
What's a
I'm
devil?
Banjo, you're the... Yeah, exactly. You haven't seen what I've seen.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. You know that Zazu, fun fact of the day, Zazu was in the original Lord of the Rings. No. Played by Mr. Bean. No.
Brain.
Back in the old days.
Callback. I just edited that episode.
That's true, yeah, I did like that. We never did that Mr. Bean skit. Anyways,
Still can.
I digress.
We need 2 more.
I'm gonna cut all of this. Go ahead.
Sheriff Bulger, well, honestly, we're back because we did finish your task, and we were able to deliver the payment and make amends with the Boffin and the Croc.
Oh my gosh.
However,
Oh, finally.
we also want you to know that we are on track. We're totally on track to get the soup ready for the feast. You know,
You are.
yes. All we have to do is, we got this guy, great guy, farmer, him, Farmer Maggot. Have you heard of this guy?
Not personally. I heard there was a farmer looking for some. I haven't heard anything about him personally.
Well, we talked to the guy, and basically his consensus was he was going to grow our mushroom especial for the soup.
Perfect. Where is it? Where are the mushrooms?
Buckland. However,
You've brought them with you, of course. I'm sorry. Perhaps
Yes.
I did not clean
So
out
you
my
want-
hobbit ears, or maybe the hair that is growing out of them needs to be trimmed with my giant clippers.
No.
I thought you said the mushrooms were in Buckland.
Banjo covers his mouth with both hands. Yeah, so about that, that's kind of also why we came by, is we might need a way to get to Buckland faster. Because with my little hobbit feet, I'm not going to get there and back in a hobbit book. I got to go there and back again in less than a day and a half. Or something like that, so we can get this soup going.
Even my fastest bounders would take 2.5 days to get there, much less come
I
back.
just had an idea, Sheriff Bulger. How fast is the speedy post?
He just said.
I just said my fastest bounders
those are
could get there
bounders?
in 2.5 days.
I didn't realize those are bounders. Do you have ponies?
I don't have ponies, but that is a valid point, Barty. Perhaps. I don't think I've ever said that phrase before. I don't think anyone's ever said that phrase before.
True. That's the first time I've ever heard those two words together. My name and someone saying valid point.
I rescind my statement.
What if we did ponies?
It is a point.
What a great,
That's a great idea, Banjo. Thank you for offering it.
super original.
Yay.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Perhaps, if you go up and speak to Ted, he has a number of fleet-footed ponies. Perhaps he could lend one for the benefit of the feast. He might have some odd chore for you to do, but perhaps some could take care of that while another takes the pony and retrieves the mushrooms.
We're great at breaking fences, so if he needs help doing that, we're down.
That will assuredly not be part of his request,
Right, Barry,
Barty,
you're out.
and please don't
Darn it.
try.
So he indicates that the stables are up and to the west, along the road a bit further.
Floating stables. Up.
Up and to the west.
Did I miss something?
What?
Some stables? What?
Stables. Pony? Stables? Pony stables? Ted?
What?
Did you just black out for a minute?
I definitely blanked out for a second. Not
So-
blacked out, but yeah.
We're going up and to the west to find
Banjo
Ted,
just wakes
the
up.
man who has ponies that are fleet-footed, as per Bobbins Crobben.
He saw the devil again.
Durbin
I saw
Bobbins.
the devil.
It's the great scattering.
I love that we're just referencing everything now.
Right.
It's all self-referential,
it's
just
the
like every show at a certain point in its season. It's self-referential. We've always been self-referential. We just have references that the audience can actually understand now.
Hopefully.
Kinda, sorta.
If you've been listening and not cheating and listening to this one first, cheaters,
Cheater.
pumpkin eaters.
Okay, so you
I'll get in cut too.
not to railroad you.
Right.
What would you like to do next?
Let's go to Ted.
All right.
Let's hear
if
Ted
you guys,
talk.
if there's one guy, hey, let's just be honest. I'm the lightest. I don't know how
Banjo.
to ride a pony, but I can
Banjo.
learn the
Banjo.
fastest.
It's not an argument. You're riding the bloomin' pony. Let's go.
Let's go!
I've no interest in riding
Pony,
no bloomin' pony.
pony.
I've never seen a dwarf ride a horse or a pony. I have no interest
I've
whatsoever.
read a book about a dwarf,
Great,
but
let's
I've
go.
never met one.
All I want to know is the pony.
You've never met a dwarf, stupid. Right, and you still have that to look
I
forward
read
to.
somewhere about it. He's just completely blocked that entire. The only thing he remembers of that encounter is seeing the devil.
That's actually a traumatic response. Believe it or not, you can have like selective amnesia. Anyways, moving on.
Very
Sorry.
true.
Shut the door.
But yeah,
keep out the devil.
But while we're walking away, I'm just chanting, "Pony, pony."
A number of the individuals walking home and they have their wheelbarrow loaded down with flour and things that they see the pony. Oh, that's nice. Another one of those wee children out for a pony ride. How lovely.
His drunken uncle's next to him. Pony,
Drunkles. We're all chanting, "Pony."
We might be needing to borrow some of that flour in case we need to make this stew stretch out. I don't know.
Hey, you're Mr. Flowers, Mr. Herbalist.
No, flour as in the
Yeah, wrong type of flour.
like the wheat flour, not
Wheat
never mind.
flour? If the wheat
Hobbit
flowers is no
pops
good
out of nowhere.
anymore.
Wheat? Did someone say wheatgrass?
The guy just stumbles by. He's drunk again. I love wheatgrass. I do. I'm gonna reference every single skit in this
That
episode.
wasn't a skit. That was episode
character.
2.
That was in the
Yeah, that was
episode.
That was the guy.
That's true.
Two
That's
or
true.
three. Anyways,
That was a good
so
one.
we get to Ted, yes? Is he still there?
No, we don't make it.
Let's steal his horse. We've done the mushrooms. Let's steal his horse.
So
He doesn't have. I can't ride a horse.
Pretty sure horse thieves is worse than mushroom thieves.
Save a horse. Ride a horse thief.
They'll cut off me hand.
So just by chance, Ted is out there standing by the stable, almost as if he's
chance.
waiting for someone to arrive.
Does he have a little yellow exclamation point above his head?
Yes, he does. Yes, he's standing.
I think we should talk to that feller.
Hello, traveler. Do you need assistance?
Do we ever?
Right. We do.
Please find me 5 boar skins, or else my tribe won't survive this winter.
Yeah. So, he greets you. Well, hello there. How's it going? Where are you off to so late in the evening?
Yours place, actually. Banjo, you could do the talking. This is your thing.
Please, sir. I take out my little banjo hat. Well, here's the thing, sir. We were told by Sheriff Bulger. Yeah, I'm wringing my hat together. It's dripping sweat, so it's. We were told by Sheriff Bulger that. Well, see, here's the thing. We need to get to Bucklewind. I almost said Buckleberry.
Oh, that's a fair piece away.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why we came to you, because we need to get to Buckland and back before the feast. A day before the feast. We need to get there and back as soon as possible. And when Sheriff Bulger and us were talking about it, well, right, boy, we were talking about it. With
We were
Sheriff
talking to
Bulger.
Sheriff Bulger, all sorts of talking.
Oh, yeah. And he said that you had the fastest, most fleet-footed
Fleet-footed
ponies.
was the word. Yes, you're doing great.
Fleet-footed ponies he's ever seen in his life. It's the fastest thing ever.
Well,
Yeah, I know, right? Buttering you up. Well, I want to have one, and I want to go to Buckland, and I want to come back and give it back to you. And these two fine, I'm going to sell these to you. These are your hobbits.
I've not dealt with hobbit kind. I've
He's actually
bought
taking
and
it
traded horses. Not sure.
We're not. Listen, you don't get to keep us. We're like an insurance policy. If he doesn't return the horse, you don't return us to him.
Exactly.
Collateral.
Yes.
Or maybe there's some chores we could help with around the place to, rather than sit around and like bumps on a log.
We also have
leaning
gold.
away.
We also have gold.
I don't know what
Or
you're
did we
talking
give it all
about.
away? Did we
We
give it all
don't
away?
have any. I don't know what you're talking about.
I spent it all. So I've got like a pot belly gives me all the food. I spent all that money.
I done eat it.
And not even like that I paid for food and then ate the food. I just ate the gold. Because I saw
Well,
Balin
if this
like...
can pay for a meal, then...
So he go ahead and make your persuasion roll, Banjo.
Persuasion.
He
I plop
on
on
the
the pony and jingle.
I'm not sure. I've never lent a pony to run so far so quickly. I'm afraid what it would do. They need rest. They can't just go day after day.
I use my every fellowship point.
You do have one more fellowship point. So now remember, this isn't. Here's the thing. That is your last option, and there are other possibilities that you could turn to. So just consider.
Right about
Come to
her.
consensus,
Save
but do
a
it
horse
quickly.
about her.
Right, lads. Maybe the mushroom idea isn't so great. Because listen, we only left Buckland like what, 3 days ago, 2
What do you
days
say,
ago.
Mr. Ted? Mr. Ted, you haven't said yes or no. What do you say?
Right, just pause on him. You don't need to hear about him.
Actually,
Skip dialogue.
I think what actually happened is Banjo thought he said all that stuff, but what he really said was... And that was it.
No, he hears you out and he lets you finish. But by the time Banjo finishes talking, Beri can tell. He's shaking his head and tisking. I just think that's too far for one of my ponies to go and not to insult you, but I don't know you. Have you ever ridden a pony before?
Why, this is Banjo. He's bringing Buffin's crock to Mickle Delving.
Who's Bango?
So he says, "Oh no, I don't think I could do that. No, I am planning to help with the Yule tide, and I do want to help, but that's just no. Perhaps something else around here. If you end up needing more help, let me know. But that's impossible.
Good
I
old
couldn't
Barty
do
just had a great idea. Is there a river or stream that runs from here to Buckland? 'Cause all I need to do is find me a fishing pole, hook myself a fish, and it'll drag me all the way there in 30 seconds flat.
I don't think you.
I remember. I remember. He fell in the mud.
Right.
It would work, though.
He did.
Can I try? Is there a river that runs here to there? I don't know.
There is not.
The water does flow, but it starts basically. It turns at Hobbiton. Basically, it comes from the north until then, and then proceeds east and south.
So it goes up to Buckland, but it doesn't come down to Mickle Delving.
No.
Correct.
How long of a journey is it to
It
the
goes-
Dogleg?
Hobbiton, basically.
So I
It's
gotta
a
go
day.
back where I came from. Yeah, it's not gonna
Yeah.
work. I was gonna try it. I was
Wait,
willing
no.
to try.
I'm not even certain that the mushrooms are going to be ready.
Has anybody got a moth?
It takes a couple of weeks, and I just don't think there's time. We're going to have to figure out plan C or D or I don't know what at this point. Where I don't know. Maybe we need to find some way to supplement this little soup that we have, or maybe perform a miracle or something.
What if
and have 5 loaves and 2 fish or something?
I had an idea, and this is not as good as my fish idea, but I think you might like it. What if? Remember how when we were still like waffling with the idea? Ooh, waffles sounds like a great idea. We should remember to put that on the least of feast foods. Remember when we were waffling about with the idea about a petition, right? What if we do something very similar, just to kind of like put the last nail in the sign to our friends, which they will be attending. They said they'd be here. What if we just had it as a sampler, right? One of us would have to man the station, would have to help at the station, of course, but instead of giving everybody a steaming, heaping bowl of Buffin's crock, we can just kind of pin it up as, here's some Buffin's crock. This could be coming to us in the near future if you guys are willing to either spend coin or signature to help get it here.
Well, I think the whole idea was that the Sheriff Bolger was promising Buffin's crock as a featuring dish.
All right, it's a feature.
you're talking about making it a sampler.
Right, it's the feature sampler. It's the only sampler they've ever had, I'm sure.
Well, I don't think Sheriff Bolger would like that idea.
Right, it's empanadas then, boys.
Alright. Muffins, crock, empanadas. Arriba.
How about this? I had one more idea. Let's just leave. Never come back.
Why don't we just leave? I don't
I've always wanted to go
idea.
west.
We got to figure something out. There's got to be a faster way to Buckland or a quicker way to mushrooms, a shortcut to mushrooms.
I don't think we're finding mushrooms, boys. I think we need to find out a way of stretching the soup we have. Or
Cabbage.
Wait, we still have that soup?
We didn't use it up. He only had
Right.
2 bowls.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of soup.
There's still a whole crock
It's
of it.
been 4 days.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. It's like
Dude,
wine.
it's like-
It ages. It
Yeah, they were
improves.
not told to.
It's a pot of goop. No.
So you can be discussing these things on your way back to the Bird and Babe. It is growing quite dark, unless you have other things that you wish to accomplish in the dark. You'll probably head towards lodgings.
Can tell some riddles in the dark.
So as you arrive back at the Bird and Babe, Jared does greet you. And welcome back. I'm glad to see you lot returned. You left quite in a hurry. Did you find what you were looking for?
We did, and we found what you're looking for
I
too.
saw the
We need
devil.
some help.
All right. Well, I'm at your disposal. You can tell the dining room is basically empty now, but that common area is packed. There's singing going on, and there's a big pile of dishes on the counter, which he's actively shuttling back. And it seems maybe he hired some additional help during this time,
Master Jared.
because there's 2 or 3 hobbits running back to the kitchen.
So, Master Jared, you have been a gentleman and a scholar this entire time. We need your big old meaty lumpy brain one more time. At least one more time.
He rubs his head. Well, I don't think I've exactly been an idea man, but I'm happy to help.
Right, so we have tried and figured out that it won't work 3 different ways.
Sorry, idea hobbit.
Right, so we have tried and failed, metaphorically speaking, or rhetorically speaking, or theoretically speaking. That's a Beri word right there. We have a problem. We need to get mushrooms to make more stew.
Well,
And here's the
this
problem.
is...
The rest of the mushrooms that we had are in Buckland. Do you have either a fast way to get them from there or a faster way to get them from here, Mr. Jarek, maybe, perhaps?
He scratches his face. There's a bit of a 5 o'clock shadow. No, there's not. The hobbits don't grow a beard.
I'm happy to it'll make
There's a
this
bit of
decision
ash
better.
that looks like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah. And he wipes it away. It's clean shaven. Well, I've never been to Buckland myself, and I don't know of any faster way to get there than on foot or possibly a pony. I can't hear if you speak when I speak, so maybe wait for a pause.
Dutifully chastened, Barty shuts up.
I have this issue with my ears where they literally flap shut when I'm talking, so
That's crazy.
I can't
Anyways,
hear you. Yes. So, well, time for foraging mushrooms. This is not the prime time, but it's possible you could locate more. Perhaps some in the community have stores they could give up if they knew there was a good reason for it. Perhaps you could buy some in the market tomorrow. It's the last day. Some are still open and sharing. I don't recall hearing of any one person that had a large stock of mushrooms, dried or otherwise. But perhaps any of those options sound interesting to you?
they all do. Thank you, Jarek. We still have the stew back there, right? And it's still bubbling and boiling and doing its thing.
The stew back there, I've sold that. It's gone. Folks actually were quite upset when it was done, they wanted more. It was a good seller. You said I could use it for the shop.
We did. Great job. Love it. I love that you have people that want it because it's coming your way.
We've got great news, Jared. I stand up on the bar. We got great news, Jared.
I'm excited.
Are you ready to hear the great news?
What's the great news?
So,
you've changed, Banjo.
I saw the devil. So,
Can we just start using that as an excuse for any change that we make in our actual lives?
no, that's Banjo's thing. Banjo went up to Hobbiton. And Banjo saw some horrible, terrible things. But we made it all right with Gerda and Rumbold. He doesn't want to kill us. We're on probation, though, so don't tell the police. Don't drink and drive, because you will get arrested for, ever if you're on probation.
You might go to jail.
Also, you might go to Hobbit jail. Not a fun place.
Nope.
It's at the post office.
It's really not
fun
the greatest place.
Sorry. Tangent. Digress. Beri word.
His eyes are still kind of bouncing from when you were shaking him. He's like,
Poor
Compose
Jared. He does
yourself,
not who. He's just got into a world of hurt by talking to us in the first place.
But yeah, basically we were able to secure and finalize the deal between the Green Dragon and the Bird and the Babe, where they will fully support the selling of Boffin's Crock here in Mickle Delta. And it's applied by none other than a great, awesome, soon-to-be very famous farmer, Farmer Maggot. He's in Buckland. That's why we're asking about Buckland, because that's where all our mushrooms are. He's growing them. So you'll have it. And that's great news. Thumbs up. However...
oh, that's great. Oh.
We need to, I guess, do something else, because I don't want to taint the name of Boffin's Crock by passing something else as it. What do you think about that, Jay? What can we do?
And would me doing these dishes make this an easier idea for you to come up with?
Yeah, he loves doing the dishes.
I don't think so, based on what I've heard. No, maybe just... well... We've got the recipe, so we can make a genuine Boffin's Crock. The mushrooms are the missing ingredient, and if we can cobble something together that can do all right, I don't think it would tarnish the good name of Boffin's Crock. Well, they were just mushrooms after all. I mean, they're arguably the best mushrooms we've ever had, but a decent stock of mushrooms could relatively come up with the same thing, and I don't know, perhaps if the community itself contributed to the pot, perhaps they would be vested in it, and any shortcoming in the actual flavor of the crock, they would make up for it with their own self-divestiture.
This would work, too, because we don't have Humboldt and Dahlia and Boffin, Gerda. They're not coming here until the day of the feast. So we have the entire 2 days to, as he said, using a Beri word, cobble together mushrooms. And we could even do mushrooms. It's going to be mushrooms. It's going to be soup. It's going to be la-da-dee-la-da-dee-da.
Jake?
I'm tired.
That's why you're the owner of the Bird and the Babe, getting all that dosh. Yeah? Yep. I saw the devil. We're going to get some mushrooms in the morning, but we do need a room.
Room 3,
for the
right?
night. Ooh,
like I said, it's available for you, and in fact, I've kept it open. I was hoping you would return before the feast, so it's available for you.
Jarek, this
You're the
guy,
man. You're the hobbit.
This
Right.
hobbit.
I'm going to sleep. Banjo, you can fraternize. I'm going to sleep.
So there it was, Jarek, and it was horrid. It was a horrid.
He was turning away to go. Yes. Do tell me more about this Divel.
It was Barty.
I gotta get a drink to stabilize myself.
He pours himself some cordial. So
Himself, not
you
even
are
from
able
Banjo.
to make yourself comfortable in the room, and get a good night's sleep. Anything you need to do before the night passes?
Sleep.
Talk to an owl, maybe?
There's no owls here. They're not real.
Call back.
I wish I might see an owl fly here tonight.
And you do. While you are getting ready for bed, it just
It's my
except
friend.
it's silent because
Oh, just
owls are silent. So you don't see it because you wouldn't have been looking out the window and you didn't hear it. So, but one does, just so you know,
That's awesome.
as a player, not your character. Your character doesn't know.
Anyways, continuing on. We get our sleep. We go to sleep.
Roll for a bad sleep.
Yeah. Well,
Flip a coin.
you do. Go ahead and roll. Might as well.
Thanks,
Why not?
Drew.
Let's have some rolls here.
Rolling. It is a roll game, after all. A role-playing game. And if we don't play and roll... That's what I'm talking about. Best sleep of the life.
Let's
Wow.
go, bestie.
Wow.
Daniel, delete that real quick. Just real quick. Real quick. Just real quick. Or do we
Oh, it was a.
Or do we each roll?
No,
for
We
each
each
of
roll
our
for our
sleeps?
sleep individually.
Yeah, you each roll. Each roll.
Barry, you can't roll
See the
again.
devil again?
See the
Okay.
devil again?
So, Jerry, you dream happily of Boffin's Crock. Not in soup form, because you don't like the soup form, but you envision Boffin's Crock as more of a pot pie with this very meaty and thick stuffing and a nice crusty, crumbly crust on top, which just as you eat it, it's the best thing you've ever tasted. You actually wake yourself up drowning in your own saliva because it's so tasty.
And he sees an owl.
That's such a great
Beri.
visual.
Beri and Banjo, you both throughout the night toss and turn with visions of this
The mushroom turning into the devil.
this orcish face or goblinish face, whatever it was.
There's an orc.
This monstrous humanoid
This is a
which
Balrog.
you interacted with.
Killed a
And
Balrog.
yeah.
Of the ancient realms.
Morgoth himself.
Those 3 jewels in his crown. The Cimmerils are...
But you find comfort, and you're still able to get a good night's sleep despite the restless dreams. And when you wake up in the morning, you might have a crick in your neck, but you are otherwise unharmed by the night's tossing and turning.
Out of my neck, crick.
Pause for yawn.
Pause.
So you wake up, you find that there is a tray of tea items there ready for you, waiting. It seems that Jarrett must have dropped it off some point in the night. And you are greeted with a piping hot cup of tea and some delicious little cakes, as well as a tray of fruit and some vegetables to start the day.
Jarrett is the best bloomin' hobbit in the whole flippin' Shire.
Yep, bloomin' and flippin', and I want some tea.
He wants some flippin' bloomin' tea. He's gonna flip some blooms and bloom some flips.
That's popular, hot, man.
Lads, I've had an idea last night.
Me too.
I didn't sleep well. Well,
I slept really well.
oh, did
up
you?
with the devil?
What did you sleep about? What's your?
You first,
you sleep
Barry.
about?
Let's hear your
Oh,
grand
all
idea.
right, all right. It may
Got a
not.
question for you. What you sleep about?
What you sleep about? What's your on about, eh? So I was
Why
thinking.
is Banjo drunk
We
right
know.
now?
We know that
What's
Sheriff
with this
Bolger.
tea?
Sheriff Bolger has highlighted Boffin's Crock as the soup of the Yuletide festival,
Right.
and that we're going to have or serve Boffin's Crock. I'm not sure exactly what his wording or how he's been spreading this news around, but I'm thinking maybe we could portray it as it was a metaphorical symbology type of thing, where we're bringing Boffin's Crock to Mickle Delving symbolically rather than physically and immediately. because we are,
Master
as
Beri.
a matter of fact and course, establishing the franchise here.
Mr. Beri.
So, yeah,
Mr.
right.
Beri.
Yeah, right.
I have
We
some
don't have
banjo
any
questions.
Boffin's Crock to serve.
What does symbology mean?
It means not really.
Oh, but we really made the soup.
Right, but it's all
Yeah.
gone, and we don't have any to serve.
Oh, thank
Wait,
goodness.
I
There's
think I
no
get-
more
I think
soup
I
left.
get what
That's a
you're saying,
relief.
Bear.
No, that's
Bear, I
bad.
think my little
Oh.
hobbit brain just had an aneurysm, and I understood exactly what that meant. So you're saying that instead of serving Boffin's Crock, we can serve something else. Since I think we should
Pot
still
pie.
pot pie. No, that's no. Ooh, I like that idea. Pot pie, hobbit pot pie. I love that.
Call back, call back, call back.
On it, I actually really like that idea. But what I think what Barry's proposing, which I also agree with, is at the feast, they make a big old toast, big old announcement. Like, hobbits of all sizes, shapes, and wideness and varieties, we have come here to celebrate the fact. We have it in writing. We forged some document that says, and all this stuff, because we did not think of get actual writing or anything to prove that it's coming.
Hobbits can't write
That's not true.
or read.
That's not true. That's not true. You just read that
They
in the
didn't
book
go to
somewhere.
school. Remember, we
That's not
established this
true.
like 2 episodes ago.
Bilbo Baggins knows how to read and write.
Okay, you've also met a dragon. Anyways,
Yes, so how you can't generalize and say every hobbit doesn't know how to read and write. When clearly this guy wrote a book. Anyways, I digress.
is the idea of a book that he
We
wrote.
have an
Anyways.
announcement that states that Boffin's Crock was approved, and we are now getting Boffin's Crock. It's basically like if you got a Raising Cane's for the first time in your area. It's like you get this big announcement. It's like, oh my gosh, a Raising Cane's! I don't have to drive to another state just to get it. Whoa! Like super cool stuff. Everyone would be super happy. They'd be tra-la-laing and doing that thing where you link arms and hop around in a circle. Yeah, you all know what I'm saying. I think we could do that, and kind of have like that sort of announcement thing, and do I like that pot pie? Yeah, do a little pot pie
Now, that's a great...
using the ingredient taste.
That's what I'm saying. That's
the
what I'm saying.
themes,
Oh,
right?
boy.
From-
I don't even know why I thought of this, but listen, a pot pie, it's like soup without the soup part of it. It's like having... It's like having... It's in...
genuinely sounded like you
It's like having it on a...
I think it
It's
was.
like having it on a plate. It's better. Pot pie is better because then we can bring the essence of Boffin's Crock without bringing the liquid form of Boffin's Crock.
So, as a point of order, I think I don't know if I miscommunicated, but the expression that I said was that you had 2 days before the feast. So that counted your day of travel.
So,
And
today.
the day it's today at sundown is the Yule feast. That is when
We're not making,
it
we're
begins.
not making soup. We're making pot pie.
Yeah, we gotta make.
So
yeah.
it is the day of,
Yep.
basically.
So
We gotta
some
get the
people
Yule
got
log.
to pot.
I think
To be
we need
clear.
the Yule log is what we need to do.
So
Listen,
Yeah.
here's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna real time, maximum give you 5 minutes. You got to decide what you're doing today, because we are under the actual time crunch of your final day of deciding, and we're condensing it into this brief period. So you have 5 minutes to decide what you want to do, and at the end of that time, I need to hear what it is.
divide and conquer, right? First, I've got the axe. I'll get the Yule log. Banjo, you know the flavors of the soup. You make the pot pie. Beri, do whatever you do.
Okay.
Banjo, you go.
You can go with.
I'll sell the idea to Sheriff Bolger because I don't think he's gonna
Right,
like that.
because you're really good at
Definitely.
convincing
I'm the
people
best.
things.
I am the best.
Put your hand in.
Everybody, hands in. 3
You too, Lore Master, get in this. Quickest decision ever made. And break on 3. 1, 2, break.
On the count of 20 million, we break.
Wait, we have 4.5 more minutes. Break on 4.5 minutes.
Go.
Okay, so you've got your plan, more or less.
More or less.
Barty is retrieving the Yule log. Banjo is making...
I'm going to go down to Jarek and have him help me make a Boffin's pot pie.
Something that could complement the Boffin's crock. We could.
And Beri?
Yeah, I'm going to go talk to Sheriff Bolger and tell him that we will be presenting the idea.
Cannot do what you asked us to do. But yes.
Of Boffin's crock.
Yeah.
But not on an empty stomach, so we need to see what Jarek has for breakfast first.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I'm not doing those.
So as you proceed out, you do smell some amazing baked goods emanating from the kitchen. There are what in your eyes are the biggest muffins you have ever seen. They are basically they're baked in clay cups, and they stay in those cups as they're served. But the dough literally just springs out, and it looks like a mushroom. It's almost decorated like it, with different seasonings on top. Some of them are savory, some of them are sweet, some of them have eggs, and some of them have bacon. You can also see that there's a few adorned with berries on top. So you can grab a few of these toadstool cakes. As you are pleased to as you enter the
17.
dining room here for breakfast. Second breakfast.
I just stuffed like 6 of them in my pack. I've got a big day ahead of me. I'm just going to take
And these are huge. One of these is probably as big as your head. It is a massive, massive
putting
cupcake.
7 of them in my hapsack.
Sap.
They are literally falling out.
Okay, I put 4 of them in my knapsack.
And they're very crumbly.
4 of them in my
1
knapsack.
1/2 and 3/4 into my backpack.
About 3 steps in, you just have a backpack full of crumbs.
Yes! Trail mix.
Smash it
Compact.
into a nice little.
Like
muffin balls.
on the ball.
Yep.
That way I get a variety and it's not just one flavor.
Yeah, you take a bite and it's half bacon, half blueberry,
This
and
is
it's kind of a little
fantastic.
strange.
I
but
love this. I'm going to find a log.
Bye, bye. Don't worry about the cost. I'll totally pay for it, sucker. Well, Beri, I better go see you if I can find Jarek and get started on that pie.
All right, lad. Good luck to you. Good luck
Same
to
you,
us all.
buddy. Beri. Bye, buddy. Don't eat all them things. You'll get a tummy ache.
Okay.
all right. So I will say, go ahead and roll for your correct actions. What you're doing. Barty obviously will be.
Tree felon.
Well, it's a combination. I think you're all gonna roll 2 checks at some point. So, Barty, you're going to be doing a perception
Charlie
as
Brown
well
this
as a
tree,
strength.
Perception and strength.
And perception and strength. Let's say that Beri, you are going to be doing either a. I guess it doesn't really matter for you. Performance and persuasion would be the same. So persuasion and either a riddle or an old lore.
Okay.
We'll say in your discussion with him, and then for Banjo, you're going to be doing. You're trying to remember what you did. You're trying to kind of mess with the recipe in a way that is positive. So I'm gonna say we'll do a nature check, and we'll do a sleight of hand, because I feel like those are what you need to get the things done. So nature and sleight of hand.
I failed both of my checks. I'm Charlie Browning this tree.
Do
Charlie
it.
Brown.
Bring us a Charlie Brown Yuletide log. Christmas time is.
There's a
Yuletide
reason.
time is
There's-
here.
There's
So
a reason Barty wasn't ever a woodcutter, okay?
Yeah. All right. Do we want to role play that and then move on to the next one, or
yeah, so So Barty, you are busily looking for this tree, and you kind of get sidetracked in your own thoughts. You know, you pause one too many times to eat a muffin and kind of find yourself a bit lost along the way. And there are a few people out and about. You actually hear the noise nearby of someone hunting, perhaps. But for the meantime, you are a bit lost when you're trying to find this tree, and you are not quite sure where to go. For some reason, you can't see the trees for the forest.
That's about it.
Yeah.
But darn, if these mushrooms, blast it all, if these muffins aren't the best bloody thing I put in me bloody tummy.
Bloody this, bloody that.
I hope your tummy's not bloody. You'd have an ulcer. Says Beri, who's definitely not there.
Who's definitely not around.
away.
Just happened to be walking by.
That's just what.
Oh, hey, Barry.
He's just
you're a
talking
forager.
to imaginary.
Can you show
Oh,
where
you
a
know it.
tree is?
I'm not here. You definitely shouldn't look in that way.
Barty,
Barry?
wake up! You're in a muffin coma.
He wakes up sitting
Like
against
like
a log.
little, like,
Yeah, dude, you've been
like 4
sleeping
inches
all
across
this
tree.
time.
This'll do. Anyways,
So you do manage to find a tree. It's not particularly grand, but you can begin to whack at it, and as you do so, your axe seems like it's very, very blunt. Or perhaps you're using it the wrong way around. You're not sure. You've never actually used this to cut down a tree. So perhaps, yeah, maybe you're whacking the butt against the tree and nothing is particularly happening. But you're finding yourself to be quite frustrated with the process thus far. Going over to zipping back to the bird and babe, Banjo has meanwhile sat down with Jarrett, or probably standing around this prep table in the kitchen, just looking about for what could be used in this concept of a pot pie in the crock. At first, you have a hard time conceiving of what would go into this reconstruction. But in the end, you land on bacon. Bacon is just really good. Nobody hates bacon. It's good in everything. And so you seize on this idea as at least a start. And Jarrett helps you put something together, and it takes a little bit longer than you were hoping for, but you are eventually able to put together something. About by midday, you have gotten this recipe rolling, and Jarrett helps you, even though he's quite busy, and it looks like it's putting a bit of strain on him, especially for you taking up some workspace here in the kitchen.
dude's gonna perish of a heart
But-
attack before the Yule feast is upon us.
It's like, thank you
Yeah.
so much for setting me up for the rest of my. It just collapses. No, he's having a Hobbit heart attack. Quick, somebody call Hobbit 911. I think my favorite bit in this whole podcast is just saying Hobbit before normal things, and then just playing it off.
It's a Hobbit muffin.
It's a Hobbit muffin. Oh, I love Hobbit wheatgrass.
Oh, goodness gracious.
But yeah, that's awesome.
Beri, you are able to track down Bolger, and he is huffing and puffing, actually out supervising some of the final preparations. The bounders that you run into actually direct you over to the party field, where he is directing, and not so much helping physically himself, but directing the bounders and volunteers at erecting these large tents in a big U-shaped dais. And they are clearing an area in the middle and beginning to light some small coal fires all along the length of the tables that are being set up.
Like a baby lamb shape, U shape.
Well, I see you've come back, and what's going on? What's the good news?
Banjo, you're not,
Not you.
he's just talking to himself somewhere else. Goes,
any good news. We were
Just as I suspected. Never is good news with you three, is it?
right.
why did we send Beri to do the talking?
Sheriff Bulger, sir. As you may know, Jarrett run plumb out of our delicious Boffin's Crock, and unfortunately, as you may know, we're not able to gather supplies to make another one. So, listen, hear me out. We're proposing that
I'm listening.
perhaps the whole idea of the Boffin's Crock themed festival could be a presentation funded and headed by yourself, and pioneered and championed by yourself, the most grandest and auspiciousest of hobbits.
Gesundheit.
Might be that we are bringing Boffin's Crock to Mickle Delving as an official extension of the Boffin's Crock served at the Prancing Pony, and we've talked
Dream
with
Dragon.
Dahlia, we've talked with Gerda, and we have gotten their agreements and say so to present it. So we're thinking it could be more of a symbological presentation of Boffin's Crock rather than a physimanifestational presentation of the crock, as you might say.
Those
so
are some
that's
great Berryisms.
that's the word I've come to share with you.
Symbological.
Right, symbological.
I ask for Boffin's Crock, and you bring me a nonsense word, symbological.
Well, yes.
It's just like you bumbling bees.
Right. Well,
LLC.
Yeah, that's copyrighted.
What am I going to do with all these signs?
And you look up and on like the front of every tent, there's like this giant cauldron with a ladle sticking out of it. And hobbits are putting the final touches on Boffin's Crock, painted across the top by Green Dragon, care of Bulger. It's a very long sign. Each tent has.
How am I going to explain this?
Well, you could add tack on another hanging sign underneath there that says "Coming soon."
He stares at you and just blinks for a moment and sighs and he says,
I can't believe this.
he walks off to direct.
No, hang that sign up a little higher over there.
Yeah, we can't believe
And
it either.
he
Why is he rolling
proceeds-
like poopy?
It's because the virtual dice hate us. We have run such crappy dice rolls in every single.
Robots.
Here's-
I hate algorithms. I hate AI.
Here's the
I
thing.
hate.
Here's the thing. We roll good when it doesn't matter. Like for journey rolls and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, let's roll 16 and 17. But no, on rolls where it matters, it's a 1 plus 2 and 7.
Yeah, that's
So out of 5 possibilities, you had 1 success. 6 possibilities,
had
1
one.
success.
Can we try again?
Which is about like how this game has gone.
no.
So
It's been fun.
It's been tough. It's been
now
tough, but it's been
you
fun.
will die.
So the day begins to wane. Your respective projects have dwindled, and perhaps, especially Beri and Banjo, you find yourself, since you've gotten done with what you needed to do, you are not sure what to do next. There are some possibilities, but
Well,
You're busy.
where the heck
chopping a
is
tree
Barty?
No,
should
I
we
fell
go
asleep
help
at
Barty?
the base of a tree.
Should we go help Barty?
You were able eventually to swing your axe around the right way. It just takes you a long time, right? So if these were all successes, you could get this all done in the morning and have the afternoon to finalize and help with the staging of things. As it is, you maybe have a couple hours left. You end up with not a grand Yule log, but something, a decent size around, and you have a hard time carrying it back, especially because you're just a hobbit by yourself, and you're dragging this thing. But there's a few people who recognize, oh, this must be the Yule log, and some other hobbits
Must not be too small.
who come alongside of you and help, and they're kind of like, this is the Yule log? But, there's no other reason really for someone to be dragging a tree through the street at this time of year. So
Helping me.
You do see that there are a few young and old hobbits, and actually as you begin bringing this through, both Beri and Banjo, perhaps you met outside of the Bird and Babe Inn at some point, kind of looking, where's Barty? Why isn't he here? And you begin to see this gaggle of folks as the daylight begins to wane, carting this Yule log, and they are laughing and they're singing and they're having a good time. And you can see that Barty is there, kind of at the head, pretending to carry most of the weight, and he's trudging along as happily as he can be, pretending to be a dwarf. But you see that there are many hobbits from Mickle Delving that have joined with, and most have one hand or so on the log, just kind of carrying it along in this procession, which you have seen before. And there are a few carrying candles or torches, lighting the way as the twilight begins to dim. And if you'd like, you can join in the procession of the Yule log to get it to the staging area.
Sure.
Come on,
Yeah.
Beri. Yahoo!
All right.
So you eventually make your way there, and there is something unique about seeing the hobbits all band together, both young and old. There are some very small hobbits who are seated on their parents' shoulders and are grabbing onto this Yule log and in a attempt to help, so to speak, with this project that the entire community is undertaking. And it's an interesting symbol for you of togetherness, working through a difficulty, and perhaps the comments at the beginning weren't exactly encouraging as far as this Yule tree, but eventually it doesn't matter. You can't even see the tree for the people, the hobbits that are gathered around it and joyfully singing these Yule songs and reciting poems about the Yule log and how important it is to warm the winter weather as you proceed towards the party and feasting area. And as you enter, you see seated at the center of the U-shaped dais some of the folks you've interacted with. You see Hamfast, the gardener, is seated up there. There is the Boffins next to Dahlia, as well as Jarrett. They are seated on the center of that U. Bolger, of course, is there, seated proudly, and you do see on these signs that I had previously described, there is this very slapdash and quickly added sign, "Coming soon," underneath, and that one is signed "Bumbling Bees" as well. And so you see these things kind of come together, and the tables themselves are laden with amazing variety of roast goose and apples stuffed in their mouths. There are steaming piles of what you recognize as pudding, these amazing cakes that are boiled and seeded and sprinkled with nuts and berries. There are flagons of ale and cordial and cream and this amazing drink called cocoa that few have enjoyed before.
Right, but they've never had coffee.
There's There's apple cider and there's mulled wine. There are all sorts of delicacies and treats lining all of these tables, but no one is touching it yet. The community built together comes alongside the low-burning fire, and with a great heave-ho, they thrust the large log onto the fire that is a bit longer than the actual tree itself, and with a boom as the branches kind of force air into the coals and spring it to life, this semi-dead tree quickly catches, and the branches and the edges of it burst into flame, and a cheer arises from all those around, and the Yule feast officially begins, as the children especially first scurry around and jump into their seats. You hear a band begin to play a rousting medley, whilst there are many who are enjoying and happily diving into this first and most triumphant day of the feast. In the middle of all the eating and drinking, a unfamiliar face stands up and clinks his flagon on the table to garner attention. And some do pay attention, most do not, but they do quiet down nevertheless. He has a mischievous twinkle in his eye and is wearing a green waistcoat, and you see one of his hands linger in his waistcoat pocket. Greetings to one and to all. It is so great to see this fantastic community come together for such a joyous occasion as the Yule feast. I'm happy to be here and to be part of this, though I am from the community of Hobbiton, and you may know me as Bilbo Baggins. I am very pleased to be here, and I am thrilled to see, and he gestures directly towards you lot, that there are many who have traveled far and have learned many lessons in these recent times, who, as of yet, have time and have taken the opportunity to gather together and to enjoy this best of all occasions, the community that we have brought together and built up. Now, I am not afraid to tell you that I have had some mischievous days in my past, and I have learned many lessons, not the least of which is to trust and to help those around me when most needed. And so, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here, and enjoy this wonderful feast that you as a community are able to put together, courtesy of course, and he gestures next to him, a beloved and generously endowed around the girth, Bolger, our lovely friend. And you hear a variety of cheers and hip-hips and half-hearted hoorahs.
Half-hearted hoorahs.
But and he has an announcement to make.
In matter of fact, I would like to defer to the party who's would like to give the announcement for themselves. Perhaps one of you, Barty, Beri, Banjo, you have the announcement?
Right. Okay. Well, he said my name first. Would either of you like to go?
You love talking.
I hate talking.
I
hate
good enough talking
people.
for one day, I think.
Okay. Yay. Here we go, boys. Hello, friends, family, countrymen. First, I would like to thank all of you for joining us on this beautiful, let's be honest, a bit cantankerous looking evening, right? Oh boy.
Here.
Is it hot out here or is it just the winter warmth? Okay.
It's cold. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about your grandma.
Get that hobbit out of that barrel.
Right, so, yes, Master Bolger would like to, through the three of us, the bumbling bees, as it were, you may refer to the three of us, Master Beri, Master Banjo, Master myself, Barty, you all know me and hopefully love me after this. So, we have, and as some of you may know, who have visited the Bird and the Babe in recent days, been working on something exciting, brilliant, masterful. How is the feast for everyone? Have we tried the pot pie yet?
Hooray!
It was good, right?
Yeah, it's
That
delicious.
was compliments.
I love it.
That was thank you, Mr. Wheatgrass. That was compliments to Banjo. This young lad here, he took what you might know and love to anyone who has traveled to Hobbiton in past days, months, years. He took that and put the ethereal vibe of something you know and love into something else. But be warned, the etherealness will only last for so long. So
A lot of people kind of look at each other like, what is he talking about? Etherealness?
who loves Boffin's Crock?
Yeah!
Who was reminded of Boffin's Crock in past days going to Bird and Babe by smell or taste?
Yeah, there's a scattering of a few very emphatic, yes, it's very good.
And you will be the most important in upcoming days because the three of us, under the wise leadership of Master Sheriff Bolger and the ever generous proprietariness of the Boffins and the owner of the Green Dragon, have agreed to bring Boffin's Crock to Mickle Delving by way of Jarrett's Tavern.
Everybody cuts you
the
off.
Bird and
Cheers.
the Babe.
Yeah, Boffin's
And
Crock,
we will
Boffin's
be serving
Crock.
it hopefully soon. I'm gonna sit down and
Oh. You hear a bunch of, oh man,
it's coming soon.
as people drop their
So
plates.
those of you
and
who have tried it, spread the word. Let it fly like ravens delivering mail. Let your friends, let your family, let the hills sing the song of a soon-to-be delighted upon Boffin's Crock.
Go ahead and roll your persuasion or performance check, whatever you would prefer. And keep in mind, you do have one fellowship point left.
This might be the last use of
Gotta
it.
make this one good. This one counts.
Everyone just, nope, I can't accept that, and everybody leaves.
I'm gonna do
Performance?
No. I have persuasion.
Performance?
I'm gonna do persuasion.
Yeah, you can do persuasion. That is a +3.
I can't look.
21!
Whoa. Nice.
Oh shoot, it actually is 21.
Yeah. So, as you stop, as you finish your speech, there were people who had been cheering, and then we said coming soon, and they're aww. And then as you finally kind of trail off and die down, it's confused. A couple people are clapping, and a couple people are confused, like, what did he mean by that? And
Just jump back up and say, Boffin's Crock soon!
yeah! And everybody once again cheers, and the band starts up again, and you see that another large log has been added to the long fire here in the center of the area, and everyone is being warmed by their face. The food is flowing freely, and so is the wine and the flagons of ale. And everyone is having a good time. It is a overall success, this Yuletide feast, with the promise of upcoming Boffin's Crock, and perhaps some lesson learned, the community strengthened together by common undertaking and desire for good food. Amidst the band playing and the sound of clinking silverware and cups, you think for just a moment that you perhaps hear the howl of a wolf. And it's long and low and off in the distance, but that couldn't be. It's not possible. And it quickly leaves your mind. You go on to other things. But it does leave us wondering, is there more to this adventure? Perhaps avenues unexplored. And we may never know. For this is the end of Blunders and Flagons, the Shire Edition. Thank you for joining us for our Yuletide adventure, and I hope there will be more adventures to come.
Bravo.
Bravo.
Put that
Most
one on the
spectacular.
freaking Hobbit
I'm glad we
history
had a
books.
successful roll to close it all out.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
That's the important thing. If you liked this adventure, stay tuned to the end for a teaser of what is coming next from the same crew which produced Blunders and Flagons. Blunders and Flagons is a creation of David Lennox in partnership with Daniel and Drew Lennox and Jerry Hoppmann. Content for this adventure was compiled from Tolkien's Lord of the Rings universe. The system, certain names, and details of this adventure were adapted from the Free League's work, the Lord of the Rings Roleplaying and Shire Adventures Starter Set for 5e. Some sounds were taken from freesound.org. Sound effects, music, and ambiance are licensed from Monument Studios. A massive thank you to Daniel, Jerry, and Drew, the brave adventurers who set out on this adventure not quite knowing what was in store. Thank you, Daniel and Jerry, for your editing help, and a special thanks to Drew for his time and care on all the art associated with this project. Thank you to the love of my life, Clarissa, who painstakingly listened to every episode twice, even when they weren't all that funny. And thank you to you, our listeners, for supporting us along the way.
There's a trail through Greenwood Vale, hidden beneath shadows, marked only by leaves turned pale in autumn's chill. A path of whispers, secrets, and freedom earned in splinters. But take heed, the veil keeps memories. Each step taken, every trust broken is known by those who linger unseen, for even the silence has a story to tell. There are watchers in the woods and guides you never knew you needed. And sometimes the long way home is the only way free. Join us for The Long Way Free, a lost tale from the Greenwood Vale. Season 2 will be brought to you by the personalities and voices from behind the Blunders and Flagons podcast, and perhaps some new voices as well. It'll be available later this summer wherever you listen to your podcasts. Please follow us for updates and more.